First dates are meant to be exciting, maybe even magical, but sometimes they turn dark, fast. These are 4 chilling true stories where a simple night out became a terrifying, real-life nightmare. After hearing these, you'll think twice before saying yes to that next date. Story 1. The date who was a stalker. Amanda, a 28-year-old graphic designer from Chicago, thought she'd finally met someone promising on a dating app. Jake seemed charming, funny, and respectful. After chatting for a few weeks, they arranged a first date at a cozy downtown cafe. The evening started well. They talked, laughed, and enjoyed their drinks. But by the end of the night, Amanda began to notice odd things. Jake seemed to know details about her life she hadn't shared, like the address of her apartment and where she worked. She mentioned a friend's birthday party later that weekend, and Jake immediately asked for details. Amanda brushed it off initially, but grew uneasy when Jake asked to walk her home. On the walk, he started making comments about how nice her neighborhood was and how he could visit anytime. When she politely declined further contact, Jake's demeanor shifted from sweet to unnerving. He started pacing back and forth outside her apartment building for hours, sending her dozens of texts and calls into the early morning. Amanda blocked his number, but Jake created new profiles and continued to stalk her online. She changed her phone number and even moved to a new apartment. The experience left her traumatized and scared, a constant reminder that the person you meet on a first date might not be who they seem, and that some dangers hide behind charming smiles. Story 2. The date that ended in a car chase. Mark, a 32-year-old software engineer, met Claire on a weekend singles mixer. They hit it off and agreed to a first date at a local restaurant. Things started normally, but Claire seemed distracted, checking her phone constantly and nervously glancing outside. After dinner, Claire suggested going for a drive to a nearby scenic overlook. Mark was hesitant but wanted to keep things light and fun. As they drove, Claire suddenly took a sharp turn onto a deserted back road. When Mark questioned the detour, Claire became defensive, insisting she just wanted to show him something special. As the night grew darker, Mark noticed that the road was unfamiliar and poorly lit. When he asked again to turn back, Claire refused, saying she wasn't lost. Panic set in when Mark realized Claire wasn't just lost. She was deliberately avoiding populated areas. Suddenly, another car appeared behind them, tailgating aggressively. Claire sped up, swerving dangerously, and Mark recognized the car. It was someone from Claire's past, someone dangerous. A wild car chase ensued along winding roads, headlights flashing in the rearview mirror. Mark managed to call 911 while Claire drove recklessly, trying to lose the tail. Police arrived just in time to intercept the pursuing vehicle and arrest the driver, who was later revealed to be an ex-boyfriend with a violent history. Mark left the date shaken, realizing he had narrowly escaped a dangerous situation that started with a seemingly innocent evening. It was a terrifying reminder that not everyone you meet on a date is who they say they are, and sometimes danger rides shotgun. Story 3. The date that was a home invasion. Sarah, a 24-year-old college student, was excited about her first date with Tom, whom she had met online. Tom seemed polite and attentive during their conversations, and she felt comfortable inviting him over to her apartment for a home-cooked dinner. The night started well. They shared food and stories, and things seemed to be going smoothly. But when Sarah went to the kitchen to grab more drinks, Tom suddenly locked the front door and turned cold. He revealed a sinister side. He had planned to rob her from the start. Tom pulled out a weapon and demanded Sarah hand over valuables, but she managed to keep calm. Quietly, she told him she needed to use the bathroom. And when Tom wasn't paying attention, she slipped out through the back door and ran to a neighbor's house to call the police. The police arrested Tom nearby. It turned out he had been using dating apps to target women and rob them after luring them to their homes. Sarah's quick thinking saved her life, but the trauma of that night left a lasting scar. Her story is a chilling warning about the risks of inviting someone you barely know into your personal space. It underscores the importance of safety measures, like meeting first in public places and telling trusted friends about your plans. Story 4. The date that ended with a violent fight. Jason, a 30-year-old bartender, was looking forward to his first date with Melissa, a woman he had met through mutual friends. They decided to meet at a quiet bar downtown, expecting a relaxed evening. The date started well. They chatted about their interests and shared a few drinks. But as the night progressed, Melissa began drinking heavily and growing increasingly argumentative. Small disagreements escalated into heated exchanges. When the bartender cut her off, Melissa became aggressive, yelling and pushing Jason during a brief walk outside the bar to cool off. The situation spiraled quickly. Jason tried to leave, but Melissa blocked his path and became physically violent. A fight broke out in the parking lot, attracting attention from bystanders who called the police. Jason sustained injuries, and Melissa was arrested for assault. Jason's story is a grim reminder that sometimes danger isn't hidden behind deception or strangers. It can come from someone you trust or think you know. First dates don't always reveal the whole truth, and what starts as a hopeful evening can turn violent without warning. Why these stories matter. Each of these stories is a real experience that underscores the importance of caution, awareness, and trust in the dating world. First dates can be unpredictable, but staying safe means knowing the red flags and preparing for the worst. Unfortunately, many people don't realize how quickly a seemingly harmless encounter can escalate into something dangerous. How to stay safe on a first date. If you're dating, here are some important safety tips to keep in mind. Meet in public places. Always meet for the first few dates in busy, well-lit public areas. Tell someone. Share your date details and location with a trusted friend or family member. Arrange your own transport. Avoid depending on your date for rides, and always have a plan to leave if needed. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, don't hesitate to cut the date short. Limit personal information. Avoid oversharing sensitive details until you really know the person. Stay sober. Keep your wits about you and avoid excessive drinking, especially on early dates. Have an exit plan. Know how you'll leave if you feel unsafe, and keep your phone charged and accessible. Dating is supposed to be fun and exciting, but as these stories show, it can also be scary and unpredictable. The people we meet might not always be who they claim to be, and danger can lurk behind even the most charming smiles. Remember Amanda, Jake, Mark, Claire, Sarah, Tom, Jason, and Melissa. These real people face terrifying situations on what should have been just first dates. Their experiences remind us all to stay alert, stay safe, and never ignore our gut feelings. If you've ever had a scary or weird dating experience, share your story in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more real-life stories and safety tips. Thanks for listening, and stay safe out there.